Hello again, this is Charlie Bellefontaine, and you're listening to the Homebuyer's Hour. And,
Mainly, but yeah.
sounds good. Give us the whole lowdown on your business, how long you've been doing it, and why people want to hire you.
Well, my name is Alejandro Perez. I own a content creation agency called Seneca Creative Agency. We focus mainly in content creation for social media, and we do social media managing, audiovisual services, everything related with content creation when it comes to long form, short form videos, or anything like that.
Sounds good. And we just hired your company to go ahead and increase our company's presence on TikTok, Instagram, and, forgive me, everybody, I'm just a boomer, all right? I don't really understand all this new high-fangled stuff like Patrick here does, the king of TikTok or something. But, Patrick, if you don't mind, give us your contact info, please.
Look, the king of TikTok is Keith Lee. Everyone knows that. But my name is Patrick Loftus. I'm a real estate lawyer. If you are buying or selling a home, you would hire me to make things go smoothly. I primarily market myself in the Sun-Times, in the classifieds, as any lawyer in 2024 would do. And I get phone calls, on a monthly basis. It's amazing. The return on ad spend, the ROAS, as they say. Find me if you want to find me on social media. I guess you can. On Instagram, I'm Loftus_law. On TikTok, I am at LoftusLaw.
But in all reality, and maybe there's not as many people that are interested in real estate law, but I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with your cheap flights stuff that you got in there. All right.
My true
I
passion.
mean, that's got to have, 150,000 or something followers?
70,000?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Approximately 83% of them are bots.
Seriously?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
but that happens with accounts lately a lot. You get a lot of bots following you, and then that's why the followers change numbers so randomly.
Yeah, followers are very much a vanity metric. You can have as many followers as you want, but I'm sure Jesus can get more into this as far as
I mean,
whether they're organic, whether they're real.
we always talk about this, but I always say that followers are just a number that is there, but the actual number that you want to see is the reach and the engagement that you're having. If you have 100,000 followers, but only 10 people is interacting with your content, you are not getting anywhere with that.
And we're going to get to all that. I still want to introduce Joey, and I'm always interested to see how right he was from last week, because we did a little Nostradamus stuff.
He blew it big time.
Did he?
Big time.
I got to be honest, I haven't been paying attention. So, Joey, give me the scoop, man. Who are you? What the hell happened?
I'm still digesting all the baloney that Patrick just threw at us. Anyway, so
we need the malarkey flags.
Oh shoot!
The Fed dropped the Fed funds rate by half a percentage point, which I was anticipating for sure that they would only do a quarter. The market negatively reacted after. The initial reaction was positive, and then Jerome Powell talked. And because Jerome Powell is who he is, he really just destroyed all the gains that we had. So since that meeting last week on the 18th, when they announced the cut, we've actually seen rates tick up rather than down, and we have seen the 10-year Treasury slowly climb. We had consumer confidence data come in yesterday that was lower than expected, which helped us some, but we're still seeing the Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities climb up, which is bad for rates. We do have Jay Powell talking again tomorrow morning, Thursday, September 26th at 9:20 Central Time, where he'll certainly say whatever he wants to say, and we'll deal with it. And then we have, oh my goodness, personal consumer expenditures on Friday. So that's the last big market data for the month. So this is generally the slower week. However, with the amount of Fed chairs speaking and Jerome Powell speaking, we will see more volatility than usual during the last week of the month. And there we are. We are.
The 2 and the 10-year Treasuries uninverted, Joey. Which what is that?
They did a while back. They did a few weeks ago, and they reinverted.
Oh,
and
they
uninverted again.
Yeah. So what does that traditionally signal?
I mean, this has been the longest inversion we've been in forever. So when they're uninverted, when they're not inverted, that's normal, right? That's just the economy is rolling along smoothly. When they are inverted, it generally signals a inbound recession. We also flagged the SOM indicator, which we'll see again in a few weeks after we get unemployment data next week, first week of October. We'll see if we're still flagging that. But the SOM indicator, inverted treasury yields generally signal that you are in or running into a recession.
And just to be clear about what an inverted yield curve means, so you would expect, common sense would suggest that money invested in a 2-year treasury, in a short-term investment, would return lower than money invested in a longer-term investment, a 10-year treasury. When we're talking about an inverted yield curve, the opposite is happening, where the 2-year, the short-term investment is paying back better than the long-term investment. Right, Joey? Did I say that right?
Correct, sir. Yes. That's correct. Nice. And that makes economic sense.
So,
Joey, after all these so-called experts that you feel that they're experts are, after they talk, do you make like videos or do you respond to that on your predictions? Is that normal?
Man, that would be a good idea, right? Minus my predictions being awful.
No, we need your predictions so I know
like
what to short.
Yeah.
I need to know what to short.
God.
You and me both.
I am the worst. That's true. That is so true.
No, but
hey, it's tough to bat 0 for 2.5 years. I'll tell you what.
You're not batting 0 for 2.5 years.
I mean, darn close to it.
But yeah, we're still gonna make fun of you for that. And then
I'm in the running with Barry Habib right now for worst predictions ever.
I don't know any of those people.
I mean, I still trust you more than I trust Kramer. So for what it's worth.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He's fun.
He's not. He's so
Kramer on. You're talking about Kramer on
what is it? CNBC, Jim Kramer.
Yeah, with the.
I thought you were talking about Seinfeld.
No, he's always got the rolled up shirt sleeves with the tie on. He's a bald guy.
He always looks like he's literally in the middle of trading. I'm like, dude, shut up. You're on TV.
That guy is. Yeah, he's loud and obnoxious. I don't like him so much. So.
Yeah, short all of his predictions as well.
All right, let's get on to the guest here. To the man of the hour. So Jesus. Give me the scoop and social media, all right? And let's start off with the why. Why would I want to be hiring somebody like you? Or why, you tell me, why did I hire somebody like you?
Yeah. I always say that several business, not only real estate, but any other business out there, avoids the idea of investing in social media. And for me, it's not a question of if you do it or not, when you're going to do it. Because it's absolutely necessary at this point. And
why do you say it's necessary?
I say it's necessary because that's the face of your business in the social community that you're trying to build around it, right?
Yeah.
So the main reason for me saying something like that is that, like I put an example the other day, but how many times have you seen a social media of a restaurant and you just decide which restaurant to pick depending on how good the food looks or how nice the environment looks or even how fun the videos are? It's like, they seem to have a lot of fun in those reels or something. It's like a lot of people is starting to decide more about what they can see than what they cannot see, right? And
is that more of a generation thing? Because quite frankly, everything that you're saying right there means absolutely nothing to me.
Not at all. Right? Not at all.
I do not look at social media. I look at reviews.
Nonsense. You're on Facebook all the time, first of all. And,
I am on Facebook.
And Facebook's another one.
Yeah, exactly.
3 years old.
So if you're seeing, all of the reels that are going on Instagram that Jesus puts up are also being cross-posted to your Facebook. So wherever you're consuming this, the thing is the only thing people watch on regular TV anymore is sports. So if you've got the kind of budget that you can advertise during an NFL game, which none of us here do, then you can still make a lot of headway in visibility, which is really what this is about, right? If people don't know about you, they cannot, they're never going to hire you.
Yeah,
let me just share what I learned, and I want you three to tell me what a knucklehead I am.
You're a knucklehead.
I know, but I want you to explain it in details, all right? So I look at social media as if I have a product and I'm trying to convince somebody to buy that product. They don't need it. They don't need it right now, but they might want it. And I want to keep in front of them with my service or my product until they're like, you know what? Now's the time. I'm ready. I'm going to go ahead and get that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to be a good fit for my business model, because when somebody needs a home inspection business or a home inspector, it's a very small window of opportunity. And that small window, I need to A, get in front of the client. All right. B, I have to make myself so valuable that I'm going to be their only choice.
Yeah.
And I got less than a minute of them finding me to make that happen.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't think they find my service on social media. Now, with that being said, there's people that use our service on a continuous basis. Real estate brokers, real estate attorneys.
Yeah.
Mortgage brokers tend to dislike home inspectors. They're so prejudiced. They're inspectionist, and that's why nobody likes them.
That was simply a test to see if Joey's still paying attention or if he's just fully focused on CNBC.
Yeah, and if we have to
just completely muted. That's all. I'm very good at this.
Just trying to trigger them, and if that doesn't work, we'll go after the Tesla Cybertruck. But real estate brokers.
Sir, I will have no blasphemy on this show, and you're going to stop that.
It wasn't me this time.
So tell me I'm wrong. Tell me about, who is your target audience that you're trying to feed with this, and what is the message that you're trying to get to them?
Yeah. Well, you said it right. It's the right people, or like the people that mostly is going to look for your business, are like real estate agents and people like that in that sense, right? Because they might need someone as a home inspector in that aspect. And what I'm saying is, like, several businesses that I work with, I'm going to say it like this. I hope it doesn't sound bad, but it's extremely boring what they do.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like,
most businesses, right? Unless you're selling candy or cigarettes or booze, it's not that sexy.
Why did all of a sudden my brain go to creepy as soon as you said selling candy? I don't understand.
I don't know. My windowless white van that I drive around in.
There it is. That's why.
You have a good day.
Yeah, no.
Joey's out of here.
Something is that one of the big challenges is to make that fun, or at least approachable enough for people to understand. Like, one example of what I'm saying is that Joey, exactly at the beginning of the show, he was talking about all these numbers, and I have no idea what he said. And
love it.
Yeah, that's a big challenge to make it understandable for people that is not in the field, right? So social media has such a big impact in the world right now that people actually don't realize this. But there's a Netflix show. It used to be. It's called Marco Polo. It's one of the Netflix shows that they have invested more money in it. And one of the reasons why Marco Polo was canceled was because it had no presence in social media. People was not talking about it. So since people was not talking about the show in social media, they didn't want it. They needed things for people to talk about. That's one of the big impacts in social media about any business right now, is that that's a channel where people actually can have discussions or an idea of what the business is actually like.
Yeah, the way I see it is like, let's go back to the 80s or 90s, right?
Yeah.
Where would you consume advertising? Typically, it would be like in a newspaper. It would be
Yellow Pages were a big deal then.
Magazine, yeah, sure. Yellow Pages, TV. These were all.
We didn't have a lot of internet.
Well, no. I mean, in the 80s, it was like 6 colleges writing each other emails. But
I had a 233DX with a.
I should not have mentioned the 80s. He's just gonna.
1 megabyte hard drive. And it was like, I'll never fill this up.
Never.
Hold on, I'm reminiscing now. Let's get into this.
But no, so look, those were
floppy drives.
You're a floppy drive. Those were ways, really, really good ways of getting in front of a lot of eyeballs, right? Mass market, but really high barrier to entry as far as the investment. Even a Yellow Pages ad wasn't cheap back in those days.
No.
Let alone getting into the newspaper or a national magazine, maybe some local advertising, but still not cheap, not easy to get in. You've got to be at a certain scale before you can do that. How else were you going to advertise your business?
Yeah.
Social media, any one of us has a phone, okay? And we can record ourselves and put ourselves on social media. Now there's a couple of things where it even has a better advantage. You may think to yourself, well, if I advertise in one of these more mass market media, I'm going to get so many more eyeballs. The design of these social media companies, their primary thing that they sell to advertisers is your attention. And the way that they retain your attention is by having sophisticated algorithms that serve you what you want.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of relying on that algorithm. You put out content that's engaging, and if it's engaging, then you're relying on the algorithm to put it in front of the eyeballs you want it to be put in front of. So, for example, Facebook has enough data about you that it knows with reasonable certainty if you are in the market for buying a house, selling a house, whatever it is. I mean, it's not as targeted as it used to be because of, Apple kind of kneecapped them with the Ask App Not to Track thing. But still, it's like you can be so targeted that even if you are getting, reliably 400 or 500 views, I mean, that's gold. That's fantastic. I mean, if 5 or 6 of those people are people that need you in that moment, man, you're in great shape.
And you're saying it in the right way, but also I want to add something to that is not only the way that you can find clients, but you can build connections with people. Like Charlie, you know how valuable connections can be in anything, actually.
That's the main focus of a real estate business.
Yeah.
Is building those relationships.
Yeah, that's why when I started working with real estate agents in social media, I noticed something that they were trying to show their expertise as much as possible, and I still see it, and it's amazing. But I think that one of the issues that I see in real estate with this is that they all have a role model that they want to copy, and that's not exactly. I wouldn't say that as the right approach if you're trying to build an organic community around you, right?
It's inauthentic.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying with that is like they know who talks like that all the time. So when you start talking like that, they're going to... You have 20 doing the same, and you have 100. So all the real estate agents have the same model? I don't think so. They just see someone that was successful in social media doing it, and they want to copy it.
We just had this same conversation this morning without you.
Oh, really?
Patrick and I were talking about business and how to market your business and your market share. And, I think that's one of the drawbacks in real estate is a lot of people enter these businesses and they enter it as an employee. Mm-hmm. They don't realize that they're actually going to be a business owner. And it's more than just getting up and going to work. You actually have to develop plans and systems and stuff like that to going in there. And you're going to be competing with other people. Mm-hmm. And so we were focusing on, well, who's your competition? Who do you want to compete with?
Yeah.
And like in home inspection business, a lot of people try to get referrals from real estate brokers. Well, that's 98% of the home inspectors are doing that. Why would I want to compete with every single home inspector going after that market when very few of them market direct to consumer? So I figured out, how can I do that? And I think we did, but that's what I'm hearing from you is be different. And I remember I used Southwest Airlines as one of my examples in that, like the big airlines are United, Delta, American. I think Northwest was up there. I could go all the way back to Pan Am just to get Patrick to make fun of me. Eastern,
TWA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, TWA. We could go way back. And my ex-wife, she used to work for Midway. In fact, we got stuck in Florida when they closed their doors. We were out of state, and they shut the airline down. Nice. That was fun.
There was
thank
Midway
you, Delta, for bringing us home.
My mom was a flight attendant for an airline called Saturn. This is way back in the day.
That is way back in the day. All I remember is the Saturn car. I don't really remember the Saturn airline.
This would have been before I was born, prop jobs in like the 70s.
Nice,
early 70s.
The airlines business here in the United States is insane.
It is, but let's take back to Southwest again. What did they do? They throw peanuts throughout the cabin, right? They don't give seats anymore. It's all a cattle call that went on there. They didn't lose your luggage. They didn't go to primary airports. They always went to smaller secondary airports that were cheaper to land and have gates at.
They don't charge you to check a bag. They didn't follow that, the herd on that one.
They did a whole bunch of stuff that was different. And then what happened? They started dominating. And they started getting a huge market share. And what did the big airlines do in their competition? They're like, we need to get a piece of that pie. And then they started copying their system. Now, of course, then the great airlines came up, such as Spirit and Frontier.
Yeah.
You know, they all came up there with this low-cost budget model, and yeah, I'm trying to trigger Patrick right now.
Yes,
You know, but that's really what I'm seeing you're saying.
Yeah.
Is be different. Now the question is, how do we be different? And Joey, if you don't mind, I want to. A lot of the stuff that you're doing, I'm actually pretty impressed with. All right.
Yes.
He's the only mortgage broker I know who's giving away heavy duty firefighting equipment as part of his promotion.
To every listener.
That's different.
Holy
That is
cow,
absolutely
every
different.
single listener, all they have to do is dial 630-235-2405,
Why he's so mean to me?
and you will get something expensive and heavy.
Oh, let's never talk again. That was nice.
I mean, but
That is a
Joey,
lie.
to be perfectly clear, is doing something different, which is, you know, a
Yes.
lot of people are, they are absolutely, they want nothing to do with VA loans to their detriment. And Joey's like, nah, not only am I leaning into this, let me explain to you why this is something you need to be involved with if
Everyone
you
needs
can
to be
possibly,
doing
if you qualify.
I couldn't agree more,
Yeah.
Joey. You know, but it's
No,
those
you know-
videos.
You gonna
and
let
I
him
don't-
talk about it, or?
Yeah, I just want him to focus on the
No,
videos.
Charlie, say more nice things. My head's getting big. I'm loving this.
You're my favorite
No.
mortgage broker.
I'm a
Patrick
nerd.
is my 615th favorite real estate attorney.
Yeah. Out of 600.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So who
No,
does all
I
your
mean-
stuff, Joey?
I do a lot of stuff on my own, but we also have an in-house video marketing team. So like when things look good, that's who's doing it. When things look like I did it, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest thing that so you go online and you see mortgage people. They're like, oh, rates, freaking, I close this, I close that. I don't care about that. I want to educate people about mortgage rather than just talk about rate, because honestly, at the end of the day, if your loan never closes, the rate never mattered, period, right?
That's
if you're
a
educated
huge
going,
message.
Yeah.
And everyone's offering the same rates. You know, they dress
there's no
it up
magic
differently,
sauce.
but you guys are all getting your money from the same spot by and large.
and that's exactly true. That's exactly true. So I mean, and it depends on how people are hedging the markets. If investors are going really aggressive, like right before the Fed meeting, everyone was going super aggressive, and then after Powell's comments, that's why we saw everything back off, because they were expecting if we announced 50 basis points cut in the Fed funds rate, that we would see more cuts through the end of the year. But once Jay Powell talked, everyone realized, okay, no, they're giving a big cut now because they have 2 months off, and they may not cut again. They may only do one cut. We don't expect that 125 basis point cuts before the end of the year.
Oh, they'll
So
cut.
that's why we saw the big back off, and now people have got offerings. So and that's the other thing is, like, investors are the ones that so the banks that we sell to, right? Those are the ones that dictate where rates go based on how they are playing the market, right? But everyone's going to be within a quarter of each other. That's at the end of the day, that's just a fact, right? Everyone's going to be within a quarter of each other in the market.
So what makes you unique then?
My insanity, I close everything. But the uniqueness is that I'm not here to sell rates. I'm here to educate you. I don't want you to go
There
into
it
this
is.
process blind.
Yeah.
I don't want you to leave the process wondering what just happened. You know everything that happened through every step of the way, and you're comfortable with buying your house because you're educated.
Yeah, that's the right approach.
That is the right approach, and that's why I value you and Patrick and you as well, Jesus.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
it's the knowledge that you guys bring to the table, and that you're always willing to share that, is what makes it great. But I think the hard part is going to be, how do you get somebody to listen? You know, and why should they listen?
I think that goes with the idea of people engage with people that they see, that they look like them, like the people that they feel that they can talk to, right? If you see a video of someone, but it's extremely annoying in the video, you probably feel like, I don't even want to see the video because the person is just...
That's who I connect with, are annoying people. I mean, that's who I am.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why you're so successful, is because there's so many annoying people out there.
Oh,
What I actually...
secret to success.
well, we have the BNI meetings, but before starting working with Charlie, I already knew that you were gonna be good in camera because you just speak
I
your
am pure ugly.
you speak your mind.
Joey's the good-looking one.
That's the main
man.
thing. If you speak your mind in camera, and people really notice when you are being fake in camera. For someone like me that is always behind the camera and I'm the one recording the video, with my clients, most of the time I was like, hey, like, if we need to do it again because I don't believe you. If I don't believe you, nobody's going to believe you. And I know that they are being honest, or they're at least trying to be honest. But that thing about making people listen it's just going to come with time. But you need to be as transparent as possible in camera. You cannot be someone that is just like trying to make fake expectations for people because they notice and they don't like that at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, I mean, you've got no shot at getting other people to believe in you. And so, and look, that sounds very trite, or it sounds like, well, no kidding, or what are you talking about? But you really have to. It really boils down to the notion that sometimes it's hard to think. I think a lot of us, it's maybe some people call it imposter syndrome or whatever it is,
Yeah.
but. Even though you do this thing every day and you've got a high level of expertise, you're maybe thinking about that one person that's going to come in and troll with a troll comment on the video, or you're going to misspeak, and then it's people are going to say, well, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. First of all, if you misspeak about something and someone comes in and corrects you, thanks for the engagement. Is basically the thing you should say. Now, easier said than done. I sometimes read my comment section and I go, and I put the phone down and I go, I'm gonna check my email instead of doing what I was about to do.
Seriously, you're able to do that?
Put my phone device to another. Sure.
Not me. Yeah, somebody says something like that. My fingers are pecking.
Oh my God.
I am that guy, that I got to come back and blah, 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 blah.
But actually,
I don't say anything.
That's positive for you because
No, I don't hit the button.
No.
I type
you
up
don't?
6 hours worth of typing that I've wasted because I got all upset. But I don't hit the send.
There are these athletes that in their social media, like I'm talking about someone that has 10 million followers, and people don't expect that, but they reply your comments. And they do it for a reason, You actually, at the end of the day, you're trying to engage a conversation there. Why? Because the more comments you get, the more engagement it's supposed to have the post.
Yeah, I mean, the way I sort of approach it, I mean, I don't want to respond to everybody. If I get, I posted one last week, and there's something like 250, 260 comments on it because it was just something that triggered a lot of people. And a lot of the comments. I mean, first of all, you have to recognize that you're going to read those comments, and they're going to exist in your head in your voice, and so they're going to have a certain level of credibility. You don't know who that person is. For all you know, it's a 13-year-old in San Antonio, Texas, that doesn't know anything about what you posted, other than they just want to get you. So you sort of dismiss those. But the way I like to approach it is, if I see someone makes a comment and I can sort of tell they're making it from like a genuine place, not just trying to be a jerk or something. Then my next step is to kind of gameplay it out, right? Because there's going to be my knee-jerk reaction, and it's probably going to be coming from a low level, just like, oh, wow, you don't know anything, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And all it's going to do is start an argument, and now I've dragged myself down, and I've sort of undermined my credibility. Whereas if it's more of a productive thing, and I can gameplay it out, and I go, okay, this actually could be a reasonably civil conversation. Those are the kinds of things I'm looking for in terms of a response. But it definitely takes some time and some skill and some thick skin if you get the wrong type of engagement.
And you're touching a very important thing right now, that is how toxic social media can be. And that's one of the topics that I talk the most about people, because for me it's I literally work with this, so I'm in my Instagram or in my client's Instagram all day, every day. I really need to remind myself that that's not the reality most of the time,
Totally. Or
yeah.
let me suggest an
For sure.
alternative.
Yeah.
What you need is a Finstagram, right? It's got no identifying information about
I
you.
tried to do
You know,
one.
just like a random
that?
photo, and then all of the I was gonna say a bad word. I'm not gonna. All of the nasty things that you want to respond to these people.
Yeah.
That's who gets to respond is the anonymous Finstagram.
So I created a fake Facebook account just to mess with some of the fireman friends that I used to work
I'm
with.
calling
because-
the Facebook police on you.
Oh, and that's fine.
That
They
is
can
against
shut
the
it
terms
down.
and conditions of the service. Thank you very much.
It might be, but I really feel that I am Tom Skilling's doppelganger,
You are.
right?
You are.
And I look a lot like him. So I created a Facebook fan page that says Tom Skilling Rocks. And I use that just to mess in a private group, and that's it. But people are finding that thing, and they're following it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I don't want to mislead anyone. I only post in one private group just to mess with people, but that's it. But I know, evil, right? And one of my inspectors is actually pretty good friends with Tom Skilling, so I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get in trouble for this. And now I don't even know how to delete it.
I help. I'll give you a hand. But
No.
going back to that,
I think this needs to remain out there in the world. I want to see what chaos this ultimately spawns.
You just want to see me go to jail, that's all.
I don't think you're gonna go to jail, but I
Facebook
I
jail.
think you're gonna end up like on the news.
No way. Now that's publicity.
yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
Any news is
advertisement for
good
sure.
news, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Local home inspector who found to be a Tom Skilling impersonator.
Oh my God. But going
Well,
back
it's
to
the
the
cumulus cloud.
going back to the toxicity of social media, I just want to say that you have to make it the place that you want to be in. Like it's just like that. And the algorithms right now, they work exactly like showing you just what you want to see, just what you want to listen, all this. And this can affect like your entire perspective of reality, because reality is not only what you see. It's a lot more point of views and stuff. That's why I say, like, not only the community, but even the algorithm, several factors. But you can make it fun. You can make it your safe space to share ideas.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with deleting a comment that just isn't contributing. If
Or
you really
unfriending
want to.
somebody that they're not really a friend.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can, be unfriendly if you want.
I get a lot of people that want to friend me, like, I don't know, maybe like a dozen a day.
Oh, it's crazy. Like ever since I started posting a lot on social media, I mean, I don't know how many Facebook friends I have, but it's like way more than I realized, because it's just like, and I'm always checking because there's always like these thoughts. You don't know what a thought is, but
I have no thoughts.
well, good. Your wife will be really pleased to hear that. We'll talk later about what I mean by thought. As soon as I see that, I'm just like, no, thank you. That's a ticket to me having a fight with my wife, which I don't want, because I don't really care to engage with fake people that want to try to friend me and catfish me. But
Yeah.
Some of
usually
them
what
are
I do
pretty
is
obvious. Like I got the hottest Chinese women that are always wanting to be good friends with me.
yeah,
Oh, yes, you do.
they're not
I
real.
just don't say yes. I
Yeah,
don't
just say
think
no to
they're
that.
real.
But if I see like the 10 mutual connections and they're all like in the real estate, it's almost always real estate people that are trying to friend me as far as all that goes. And
Or other home inspectors,
yeah, that's all good. Hey, I don't spend too much. Like once a week, I'll go on my Facebook and sift through all that. I don't. Facebook is just one of those places. As soon as it comes up, I'm just like, I just no, thank you.
Yeah.
The Book of Face. How can you even argue with that? It's the greatest place on earth.
What is
you
that?
know, next to Facebook.
Oh,
The Book of Face. It's the great.
Oh
yeah.
my God. Okay.
Book of Mormon, Book of Face. You get it. A little bit. I don't know.
Sometimes it's these you almost need like an intergenerational translator sometimes, which is where I come in as someone who's sort of like in between the two. I can sort of speak Boomer a little bit. I can sort of speak like
Yes, I think that's one of your skills. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, all day long, all I do is translate the way lawyers talk into the way that human beings talk. That's like most of what my job is.
Joey, I wish you were here to take the heat off of me.
Sir, I'm very happy in the seat that I'm in.
I bet you are. I want to get back
don't
to
jump
those
into
videos.
a fight between other people. All you're gonna do is you're gonna
Yeah, I've seen that go wrong.
you're gonna catch the strays. Joey's
From
smart.
everybody.
Where was he going with this?
I don't know.
Charlie completely lost track.
I always
did
lost
it.
track, but no, I want to get back to the videos and stuff that you make and the educational subjects and stuff. I mean, a lot of times you do come up with current events and you bring that up in there, but you also come up with a lot of repetitive mistakes that people make, trying to eliminate those things. And for that, I give you a lot of credit with. And who is your focus, though?
In what sense?
Like,
Yeah.
who's your target, Joey?
Oh,
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah, you.
my target is, I mean, obviously veterans, kind of like a big thing for me. But anybody, loan officers, realtors, people that just need to learn more about VA loans. But like at the end of the day, I don't care where you are. If you can help veterans, then I'm good. I'm happy. If I'm writing a loan, cool. But my biggest thing is I want more education in the space, more understanding in the space, so veterans aren't getting killed in the process. I have a realtor I'm working with right now that made my clients flip to conventional. It made me so freaking mad. And I'm still very mad about it. And now she's trying to flip them to a new lender. And I'm like, dude, this is not how you play with
that's
me.
terrible.
Yeah. So it's tough. It's tough because some agents are like, oh, I've been doing this for 40 years. VA's terrible. And that's exactly the situation I'm in. And unfortunately, this client used to work with her on the real estate side. So there's a heavier amount of trust on that side just because she knows her. Right. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I have to play the game every once in a while and just bite my tongue really hard.
Yeah, I call those kinds of people chaos merchants because they're out there just causing bad things to happen. And this realtor, I'm sure, believes to their very core that they're giving the best advice, and they couldn't be more wrong about it from what it sounds. I know you're focusing a lot on doing everything you can to help veterans. I know you also get in front of a lot of first responders. These are the kinds of people that I see you focusing on. Am I missing something there?
No, yeah, you're right. I obviously failed to even talk about that. I was a firefighter for a long time. My dad was a Chicago cop, got killed when I was 4. My mom was a nurse. My sister's a teacher. So like, it's the people that are already in my sphere that I've worked with the most. So you focus on who you know. At the end of the day, it's really what it boils down to. Yeah, and what you know. Yeah,
and a lot of those folks, not for nothing, Joey, but a lot of those folks are underserved when it comes to these kinds of services because we do tend to speak to other people who are like-minded in the sense that do similar jobs, live in similar neighborhoods, and they may not know a mortgage broker. They may know 100 cops and 75 firefighters and maybe a nurse here or there, but they don't run into someone who has your expertise. And so it's important really to have someone with the connection you can make with these folks who can also reach out and provide a genuine, valuable service to help them become homeowners.
I think the biggest thing is you don't know what you don't know, all right? And adulting isn't always easy. And
Ooh, you used like a millennial word.
I
That
did,
was interesting.
adulting.
I like that one.
I like that
Wow.
word a lot, you know. And mostly
don't.
it's because my stepkids all have to be adults right now, and they don't like it either,
I prefer being an adult to being a kid. Being a kid was annoying. I had to do what everyone else told me to do. As an adult, I can do whatever I want.
That is true, but then you still have to pay for it.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's
And
the
these
worth
You
it.
take
kids
full
don't always-
responsibility for
Worth
that.
it. Worth it. If I want to go, buy a candy bar and eat it, I don't have to ask anyone for a, whatever it costs.
Yeah.
$5.
right?
But no, I mean, let's take it to real life, though, because let's just say I'm a veteran. And I went there, I picked up a weapon, I helped everybody in this great country, and I protected their rights. I've done my duty, I served it well, I come home. There's a ton of benefits that are out there. And if I don't know what they are, I can't take advantage of those to me, right? So whose responsibility is that? I mean, we're sitting here, I just heard something that really honestly kind of pisses me off too. all right, and that's probably going to end up getting deleted. I'm sorry.
We made Charlie
You know,
angry.
but it does upset me, you know. And it's like, wait a minute, why is somebody trying to manipulate somebody in something that's not as beneficial to them? For what reason?
You know, I'll repeat what I said before.
But that's
Is
the
that
biggest problem
person
with boomers. We've always done it that way. Whenever you hear that, you need to punch me in the nose, because if I ever say that.
Joe, this is the fundamental fight that Joey is fighting against on a daily basis, and I don't want to sit here and speak for Joey all morning, but you know, the notion that VA is inferior to conventional is very much the conventional wisdom. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joey.
It's that. It drives me nuts, but yes.
So
I
that
don't know if
person
it's
is
easier. I think
manipulating.
that other people just don't want to work.
No, they don't understand.
That's exactly what it is with this realtor. That's my opinion.
They
Yes.
don't understand, and I say that as a former shade thrower at VA, because you all you hear is, well, you know, we've got an appraiser that's sticking their nose where it doesn't need to be. I've got a bunch of extra documents that are in about a 4-point font that I'm supposed to sift through and figure out what it says. And it's because it's a government document. I get done with it and I go, I don't know, just sign it.
That's my attorney right there.
It's not a negotiation. So
Sounds like my kids when they were teenagers. I don't know. I love this game.
it's a government.
Ask me a question now. I don't know. Dad, can I borrow a car? I don't know.
Here's the way I
love
describe
this
it.
game.
Here's the way I describe those documents. This document contains a whole bunch of disclosures that were made to you probably 4 to 6 weeks prior. For some reason, you're signing them again. Let's not go through with something that was already gone through. Just sign it. Simple.
Well,
Keep it simple.
Joey, what do you got to say about how can I help veterans, Joey, as an inspector? What can I learn to coach people through these things?
We've done it with the NPRs. I mean, if you know that you have a possible VA loan, right? That like we've gone through the whole NPR list together, the minimum property requirement list together, like things that will be issues and things that won't. Like the handrail thing, that's not in the actual handbook. That's based on building code for the municipality or the county or the state, depending on whoever is in charge of building code where the home is, right?
Yeah.
There's just certain things that if you know, it will be helpful for the negotiation. That's all it really, knowledge, man, knowledge. That's all that we need is more freaking smart people.
Well, knowledge is power. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. And the more
Don't
you
make me
know, the
cry on
more
the
you're
air.
worth. Yeah.
well,
But getting that message,
Now I
that's
want
the
to
hard
make
part.
I want to make Joey cry because that would be dramatic. And talk about engaging. When you can get someone to cry, I mean that is like, we'll put some music behind it. Not the sexy one that we usually give to Joey. Just be like, we'll dim the lights and make it very dramatic and.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen those ads on TV, but St. Jude's Hospital, I think is the name.
Yeah, they're down in Memphis.
Do you remember that they used to do a lot of ads with like sad music and very like tough, hard to look images, all related with kids in the sense
Yeah.
of like cancer and stuff?
Danny Thomas started all that.
ASPCA stuff with.
They totally changed it. They changed that campaign completely because I think people I'm not sure, like I'm just supposing this, but maybe people was getting like tired or they wanted to avoid the sadness of the ads. So now they make it a little bit more about hope than sadness. And for what I have heard, it has been working better.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because look, one thing, if you want to trigger a person, one of the easiest ways to do it is to start talking about something
Their
bad happening to
Cybertruck.
kids.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wrong. Start talking about something bad happening to kids.
Yeah.
Why do politicians focus so hard on, we got to protect the kids and it happens on both
Cats,
sides.
the dogs.
No, stop it. But cats and dogs are a close second to kids. But look, it's because our brains sort of work. It's like evolutionarily speaking, as soon as we see a child in need, either you go right to the child, or if you see it and like it's too much, it's overwhelming, you turn away. And since that child's behind behind a screen, you go, I can't right now, I can't with this, whatever your emotional state is. If it's not ready to see a child in that in that distressing
Yeah.
situation. So yeah, I can totally see where they must have taken a look at what the market research was
Yeah.
telling them, and the market research said people are kind of getting turned off. And, your heart's in the right place, but you're not selling kids in distress. You're selling hope.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. No, and I want to approach to what we were talking with Joe as well about how do we educate people with things, And one of my clients is an insurance agent, and insurance is something that I'm an immigrant, so a lot of things here are very complicated when you're an immigrant, because then you start learning that you have to know about taxes that are extremely complicated, real estate, mortgages, insurance, and then
Just keep giving them money. It's not that complicated.
it is complicated. It's the only country that you
you
have
know to
to.
sign your name on a check. They'll tell you the number.
But,
Greatest thing about the United States of America, you could have anything you want here. Just got to know how to sign your name.
Oh, I totally agree with that. That's why I love this country, though. Like, don't get me wrong. But what I was saying with that.
And you can get yourself in horrible trouble. Just sign your name.
I
But
learned that from Wilma Flintstone.
Stop it.
in that sense, like, she's just trying to educate people about how insurance actually works, and then like probably you have heard that people complains about why insurance so expensive sometimes, and that's like they don't have any answers sometimes. They just wonder, oh, why so expensive? And then that's what she's trying to do in some of her videos already. Like, we're trying to educate people in the sense of like, hey, this is a cost because of this and this and this. It's like, and sometimes when you walk through when you do the whole walkthrough to someone, it's like, oh, okay, so this makes sense. They trust you more because you are being transparent about this. And she's not even like, you buy me insurance. No, she's like, this is what you have. I'm doing the best I can. I hope it can work for you. And that's why people start trusting more in that sense, because you're being transparent and educating at the same time.
Yeah, the why of insurance is something that the big, the ads of the big insurance companies, they never get into it, right? Because they want to have, each one of them's got their mascot and they keep it kind of fun and whatever, and they kind of realize that if they can just compete on price, that's basically where they're going to get the best bang for their buck at a higher level. But the why of it, you turn any corner in town and you'll see a sign in front of a storefront that says State Farm. So you go, well, which one? Why would I choose one over the other?
Yeah, exactly.
And I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
And she takes the time to give you the why of insurance. And as someone who's been practicing law for over 20 years, I can tell you, insurance is like the sense I have of why and what it is and the utility of it. All you need to ever have happen to you is to have one situation where insurance was in doubt. You had something bad happen to you, and whether it was going to be covered was in doubt. And worse is if you could have done something before to make that less in doubt.
Yeah.
You will have a much better sense. But to be able to educate people about that before it happens, there's so much value there, and I probably see it different than 99.9% of the population, but
yeah.
That's huge. Answering the question why, for me, you will go a long way to convincing me of your value if you can just answer me why about whatever it is that you think that I need to pay you for.
Yeah.
That's like who is it, Zig Ziglar? That's like one of the hardest things to do is what's your why? Why are you doing this?
I know my why, for sure.
What's your why?
I want to have a positive impact in social media at some point with the agency, and that's totally
Okay.
possible. I know that people that started with agencies like mine, in that, they kind of like try to have some type of impact with their ads as well. But now we have the channel of social media that is like, I want to say that it's like, it's more inside your head, in the sense that you're always in your phone and you're always sharing that space with family and friends as well. So what I'm trying to say here is like, not only mine, but several people around there are trying to make social media less toxic, in the sense of like, you can say what you think here and nobody's going to start like screaming at you in comments. So I literally say it like that, screaming at you in comments, because that people just don't feel safe even putting their face out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do. But I need
yeah.
to do something right now that Patrick is going to make fun of me on.
Oh
Okay.
no, come on, don't.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
gonna.
do it.
I'm definitely gonna do it.
Okay.
My whole thing is going back to a little bit on the why and getting that message out there. And how do I get people to want to follow my business, though?
Okay.
How do I get them to click? I mean, I hear other people saying, this is all YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the blue heart, or make a comment
Blue heart.
in there. Why would somebody want to do that? And how is that going to help me?
I think when you post enough value out there, you actually, when you post enough value, you don't have to tell someone, follow me.
They're
They
gonna
know
wanna.
that they can follow you.
But
Yeah.
it's got to be legitimate stuff.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like, I follow things that I never thought that I would follow. I follow a guy that he just teaches how to be an adult, in the sense like how to make certain type of cocktails, how to cook certain type of things.
Thank you for following me. And make sure you like and subscribe and leave a blue heart.
Exactly.
Why do I follow my favorite Inspector Preston?
Oh my God, he's trying to trigger me all day.
We're
Thank
having
goodness
fun.
we're out of time.
In all seriousness, though,
Yeah.
it's like, the stuff he does put out there, I mean, to the extent that it's not like, meant to sort of get you outraged about some of the things that people are doing to their homes and trying to pass that problem on to someone else. There's value in the information that's being put out there. I don't think you can answer the question, why would someone follow you? Broadly speaking, it's more like, how can I provide value and give someone a reason to click follow, or to
It
click
is a
heart,
good
or to
statement.
click comment? Because
What's valuable?
because that'll keep you in your authentic space. That will keep you doing things that you think are good for other people, and if they find that valuable, and if you're able to do it in an engaging way, then you're very much on the right track.
Yeah,
Well said.
I just want to say very quick, but also like in the case of Charlie's business, but we don't. In your social media, anybody that wants to know what's wrong with their house can follow us. Like anybody that wants to know, oh, this is not supposed to be like this, and I bought this house, and that happened because maybe they never hired a home inspector, maybe the home inspector didn't do a good job. But we're showing everything that we see in the inspections in that sense of like, hey, this is not supposed to happen. And not only real estate agents believe on, oh my God, these guys do a really good work, but also people that own a home, that there are a lot of people owning homes out there, they'll see it. And I was like, maybe I should follow this guy in case that something like this happens in the house.
That's why Jesus is the expert.
That is. Jesus, how do people get hold of you if they want to hire you?
They can follow me in social media at Seneca Creative Agency on Instagram.
Say that again, a little bit slower.
At Seneca Creative Agency. We do social media for any type of business that is trying to create a organic and valuable community around there. Any type of business that thinks that they want to actually build a community around there, in the sense of that you're a restaurant, you're a dog trainer, you're an insurance agent, you're a home inspector, you can follow us there for sure.
Sounds good. Patrick?
Find me on social media. I only pretend to be an expert in this stuff. I just get, it gets me excited.
You did pretty good.
Thank you. Find me on Instagram, Loftus_law. Find me on TikTok at LoftusLaw.
Sounds good. Joey, please.
Yes, sir. Oh my gosh, did I not introduce myself at the beginning? Joey Mathews, NMLS 1330694, the VA Loan Nerd. You can find me at thevaloannerd.com, across all the social medias as at the VA Loan Nerd. You can call or text me at 630-235-2405.
And thank you, everybody, for listening. My name is Charlie Bellefontaine. I own Chicagoland Home Inspectors. Thank you to Devin Tingle, who makes everything work in this place. And I'm very